All right, so there's big news today. What happened over there in the state of Utah, on one of their university campuses. I'm sure you guys all know just based off the title. Now, for this channel, I don't typically get political ever. Basically, I created this channel to vlog my travel journeys and my gardening and any other fitness. It kind of started as a fitness thing, but it's difficult for me sometimes to record myself while I'm trying to get my workout in. The travel vlogging is a lot more suitable. But for this particular story, I wanted to throw this in here. Okay, Charlie Kirk, conservative commentator, sadly was deleted today. Somebody grabbed a weapon and aimed at him, and you know the rest. What do I feel about it? It's unfortunate. The man's married, has kids, right? He's a family man, American man. He's 31 years old, so young man. He's a few years younger than me, so he's young. Um, it's unfortunate, but the thing is, and I say but because the political climate that we're in, right? And this is an individual who has been a proponent for a lot of the pro-gun regulation or no regulations and pro-gun usage, right? And it's just kind of ironic how he met his demise by the hands of an assailant, somebody with a firearm. And I don't advocate any violence. I'm not in support of either side. I'm aware of who Charlie Kirk is. That's why I'm doing this video. And some of the commentary that he's given is not too, it's very confrontational. Like even simple things like he made a comment about, if he was on an airplane and he saw that the pilot was black, he would get worried or feel nervous. What a very bold thing to say. And that's because he's virtue signaling the ultra right in America. And the thing is even with what just happened right now with Charlie Kirk, this is only going to amplify the extreme elements on the right. They're going to become more emboldened because they're going to kind of want like payback. Charlie Kirk, I don't know like his YouTube page. He has Turning Point USA. He has a lot of followers, subscribers, a big audience that he's built. I mean, people could say that he has backing and funding, neither here or there. But he's definitely a major voice within the right wing kind of realm within American politics, represents young white males. That's his audience, his niche, his market, and that's who he advocates for, and those are his supporters. So, it's just interesting how this stuff happens, and, how I don't like the fact that it happened because how is it that you're going to be deleted for your opinions and beliefs? Like I said, he wasn't the nicest guy. Like, he made comments like then I take it back to that, pilot situation because if you're a captain and you're flying a plane, like there's credentials and certifications, you're qualified to be there. There's regulations put in place, but that wasn't good enough for him. He wants to virtue signal his audience that are already going to be amplified like by any type of racial thing. And he plays into that to virtue signal like the racist on the right. And I feel like that's super problematic because that crowd are the most prone to violence. I know currently right now they're going to blame the other side, the left. The intolerant left is what they say. They play both sides. They play both sides. I'm just giving you my real opinion because I have one side of people. I'm biracial for all intents and purposes. I'm mixed, black and white, mulatto. So on one side, they'll say that I'm a liberal, a lefty, right? The other side, they'll say that I'm like a MAGA, Republican, racist, white supremacist. So it's like, my goal in life is to find balance, but on both ends, if I get into a political disagreement, whatever my views, both sides call me the other side. So I'm kind of caught in the middle, pun intended, for all intents and purposes with these type of debates. I try to stay away from the politics. I just want to give my opinion with the Charlie Kirk situation. I didn't look into all the news. Obviously, I'm just jumping up on here, providing my feedback. I don't agree with what happened. I think it sucks. It's unfortunate. But I will say that I'm not like saddened by it. I'm saddened for his family, his wife, and his widow now, and then his daughter or his kids. I think he has two kids, and his family. His parents and grandparents. He's a young man. He's 31. So he has a whole family community that, and his supporters, people who probably drew inspiration from him. I'm sad for all of them. Um, so I can say that, but it's kind of like, well, he definitely tried to, play into this ultra right wing fascist, and they're gaining momentum. Like they have the seats of power right now, and their negotiation strategies with these other nations, the BRICS particularly, is not working out well in their favor. So it's an interesting situation, but if you guys want to drop comments and let me in, fill me in, I'd appreciate that. I just want to get that off my chest because it's kind of a trending news topic. I'm not too familiar with Charlie Kirk. Like I said, I've seen a couple clips, and to me, he just kind of seems like snarky, arrogant. Like, he's kind of paid off, to kind of be a corporate shill. People are not gonna like me saying that, but um, it's unfortunate what happened. I just want to basically say that I don't agree with the man's politics, but I don't agree with what happened. It's unfortunate. It's come to that level. Throughout, American history, we see that, this has happened. And around the world, it happened in Japan to their former prime minister, Shinzo Abe. And, there was an attempt on Donald Trump. There's been an attempt on, obviously John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, many political leaders around the world. In Brazil, there's been political leaders this happened to, and other places around the world. We know, guys. It's common when you become a voice and you have a dissenting view that's not popular with a lot of, mainstream or whatnot, or different elements in society. You can be increasingly become a target, and that's kind of the price you pay for speech or freedom of speech. And it's unfortunate. So condolences to the family of Charlie Kirk. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the man, his politics. He played into a dangerous side. But it's interesting to see where it's going to go from here with his followers and supporters, because they're going to need a voice. The people who listen to him, who get their news from him, where are they going to go now? What other outlet are they going to go to get that voice? Because he, like I said, 31 years old, he represents the new guard and the new generation, of the kind of white male patriotic, I'll say it because that's code word, the white male kind of on the right, leaning politics, He is, so like, who's going to replace him? What other voices there that's going to fill that void? I'm interested to know. If you guys want to put some comments, let me know, fill me in, critique me. I appreciate that. Just want to say condolences to Charlie Kirk's family, loved ones, and community. Unfortunate that everyone's talking about this. This is what it's come down to. But it's a time for people to basically get their point across, turning point, get their point across, and do it in this format. Debates. And that's what Charlie Kirk, I believe, did. Went to universities, had debates. But someone that went to that university in Utah, they didn't want to debate him. They wanted to initiate violence. It's unfortunate that this is what it's come down to. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Thanks for tuning in.